guys, good afternoon. It's Cali. I am so pleased to be bringing you the 5th installment of the creative journaling journey that my sister, Miss Rita Marie, the Gypsy, and I have been taking. We started in August, and we've been doing a different page for each month with a different theme for each month. And we've subsequently started a Facebook group and have invited everyone there to join us. And we don't release our pages until the 15th. And we keep our themes a secret until then. But now, here we are. And I'm happy to release the winter solstice. This is my entry for the solstice. And it's just showing, I wanted to do a mother goddess. But she looks a little young, but she's on the cusp of motherhood. And she's just celebrating the return of the sun. And there's an evergreen tree in the background, which stays green even in the coldest days. And just always shows that there's life stirring even under the snow. There's ornaments on the tree to celebrate the light. And she has a little spirit bird on her hand that's going to help bring blessings of love and joy this season. So I'm really curious to see if any of you guys have done anything for this month. And if you have, we have, 15 days left. So never too late. Show me if you've been inspired and stick around and I'll show you how I did it. Okay guys, so we're just going to jump right in. And I'm not going to gesso this page, but I am going to come in with my handy dandy Americana decoupage in matte. And I have my beat up brush and a palette dish, and I've ripped up some tissue paper strips. So just various shades of blue and some white, and I'm just going to randomly place them down for a base for now. And I want to keep, the theme is the winter solstice. And so winter to me, definitely, the colors white and blue for the snow and cold. So I have wax paper here. Let's see. And then I also want to incorporate later on, colors of the sun. So I have a little bit of an idea where I want to go with this picture, but we will see what happens because it's always a journey. I never want to overthink anything. I prefer to just let it guide me. So I'm just going to start laying stuff down. And I may paint on top of this once it's dry. I may not. I may add other layers of something else. I'm not really sure. But I did know that I wanted to begin with a layer of tissue. So I'm just going to do this, you guys, and all around, and as soon as I'm done and it's dry, I'll meet you back here, and I'll show you what we got. See you in just a minute. Okay, guys, I have a new tripod adapter, so bear with me while I work out angles and things like that. In the meantime, this has dried beautifully. I love how icy blue this looks, and just gorgeous, and it feels great too. The tissue paper just works wonderfully. And I love to do some layers. And yesterday I got some happy mail from my dear friend Cynthia, and it was in a bag that had these beautiful snowflakes on it. So of course I thought, what better to do than to start ripping it up and gluing it on the background here, because I just love the element that it adds. It fits in beautifully, and we'll have a bit of the background peeking through. And while that's drying, I'm going to take my handy dandy sketch pad and start sketching out what I want to be the focal point here. I already know what I want to use as a border, and I'm kind of getting ideas of what I want to portray. Solstice to me is a celebration of the return of the sun and the mother and maybe evergreen boughs. I'm not quite sure, but you know, very traditional symbols. So we'll see what I come up with once I start sketching, and I'll see you back here when this is dry and the sketch is done. So see you in a minute. Okay, you guys, this is dry and it looks exactly as I hoped it would. Blended in perfectly with the blues that were already there, and you can just see the snowflakes coming through. I love it. Things are starting to come together a little bit. I'm just kind of listening to my intuition. I knew I wanted to do some kind of a goddess or something. I had originally drawn out, well, here's what I drew. And I just, I don't know. She looks like a young girl, but I'm going to do holly in her hair and maybe ivy and some holly berries and this kind of a whimsical bird here. And I'll put her in, you know, colors of the season, I think. And behind her, well, and this I want to color with my, I just got a set of these Derwent Inktense pencils, and I'm super excited to use them. So that's what I'm going to color her with. And then I also thought in the background behind her, I want to do a sun. So I just took a piece of mixed media paper and some of my Derwent Inktense in, what do we have? Yellow, primary magenta, and orange. And I didn't use a stencil or anything. I just spritzed and sprayed. And I'm going to cut out a circle and the rays of the sun. I may do some random stamping. I just have some Studio G ink. I got these at Walmart. And I have some various like holiday stamps. It's a string of lights. There's an ornament and a little pine tree. So I may just do random stamping on the paper itself. And then, so I'll put the sun down here, and then her over the sun. And then I thought maybe on the side here, and of course, once again, I'll be covering up my beautiful background, but just on the side, I thought maybe we'd have an evergreen tree peeking out. And so I did the same thing. I took a piece of mixed media paper, and this time I used DecoArt Media Shimmer Mister in turquoise, yellow green, and I had this Heidi Swap Color Shine in Seafoam. I got this from Sarah Evans, My Serenity Crafts. So I thought that I would do the same thing, maybe do some stamping on the background paper and cut out a tree just to kind of come out on the edge here. You know, so the sun, the tree, the girl, the bird. I'll see you back here when everything is cut out, stamped up, and ready to put on the page. Oh, and also for a border, which I don't even know if I'm going to have room, I'm going to do one of two things. I have a Kleenex box that I just used up, and I love the pattern. Again, this looks like snowflakes to me. So I thought that I would just tear pieces of it and just on the edge go around and edge it with this paper, or I may use this particular stamp, the String of Lights, and I have embossing powder, and maybe do some embossing powder. So one of those two things. But I'll see you back here when we're ready to glue everything down and everybody's been cut out and colored. So see you in a second. Okay guys, I'm going to show you where we are. I basically got everything painted up and cut out. And here's my thinking. And before I said that I used the Derwent Inktense to color the sun and the tree, and it wasn't. It was my DecoArt's Media Misters. So I did the tree, And I just used, like I said, this stamp and some of this blue ink. And I also used this little ornament stamp with this kind of a fuchsia ink pad that I've had for a while. And I also plan on, I did an extra row of stamps, and I'm going to cut these ornaments out, and I might embellish them further, but just glue them on over those existing ones. So we have that, and then this was kind of my thinking for the sun, although I'm not sure, but I just did some stamping, and I used this. I've had this for a while. I think it's a Tim Holtz stamp. I'm not sure. I got it in someone's D-stash. And then I cut out a smaller disc, and I have all these rays that I cut out. So I will, you know, probably not use all of them, but I'll put some of these down up here. And then I have her, and she's kind of going to go over everything. And I took the bird out of her hand for this moment so I could paint him up. And he's here. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. I don't know. I'm not in love with it, but you know how pages have a tendency to come together. So I think once everything gets glued on and I can start to embellish, like I want to add white holographic, like kind of iridescent, not holographic, iridescent glitter to her cuffs and her shoulder. And, you know, when you start going around with your pen and doodling around and things like that, and once I get the border on, I'm sure it'll come together. But that's where we're at for now. I'm going to glue everything down, and then I will see you back here. So give me just a minute. Okay, guys, it's starting to really come together now. I've just used a glue stick and glued everything down lightly for now. I have yet to embellish, but I'm pretty happy with the placement. And I've decided that this is a spirit bird celebrating the Yuletide season and bringing blessings of joy and love and celebrating the return of the light. I colored on these stamps that I did. I told you that I also stamped out onto paper the same ornaments. And I just used my silk acrylic glazes, which I love. Just a few different colors, the gold, the magenta, and the purple and the blue. I also used, that's the same thing I used for the bird. So I'll be cutting these out and then gluing them on top of these decorations here. And I'm going to add some glitter, I told you, to her, you know, the cuff and the shoulders here. And I cut out for a border that Kleenex box, and I used a pair of decorative scissors that I have, paper shapers, and I just cut, and I'll be gluing that around. Actually I have a larger one for the bottom, so that's going to be our border when we're all done to tie it together. So I'm just going to get to embellishing and adding those final touches. I may go around with one of my Derwent pencils or my Faber-Castell marker to just outline and enhance things. But right now it's just about embellishing and putting the border on. So I'll see you back here in just a minute. Okay, you guys, I think I'm finished here. I'll just tell you what I did. I added some glitter around the trim. And what did I use? I used this, I got it at Michael's. It's just an iridescent white glitter. And then around the edge of the sun, I wasn't crazy about that stamping I did. So I took some of this jumbo glitter. And I used that, but it was perfect there. I outlined everything with my Faber-Castell Pitt pen with a brush tip. And put the border on. I added a star at the top. I put some white, with a white Signo gel pen, I just put some dots on the rays of the sun and added some white detail here and there. I'm going to put a sealant on this, just spray it with a matte sealant and let it dry overnight, and I'm going to call it done and wish everyone a beautiful, beautiful solstice, and may the light always shine bright in your lives. Wishing you guys many, many blessings and a beautiful, happy holiday. Show me what you guys have come up with if you're inspired to create. And join Miss Rita and I at the Gypsy and the Witch. Talk to you very soon. Take care. Blessed be. See you next month. Okay, guys, here you have it. She's all done, and I'm very pleased with the way it came out. This is nothing the way that I envisioned it, and that's always what happens. So I hope Miss Rita enjoys this as much as I enjoyed creating this for her. And I hope you guys have been inspired. Please feel free, post your pages in the Gypsy and the Witch. I'll put the link below. And I'm wishing you all a very joyous solstice season. So blessed be. Love you guys. See you next month.